I have brought all the things. We're gonna hang out, alright? Alright. So, if you can't tell, I sound not well. That's because I haven't been. My whole household has come down with a heck of a cold, you guys. It has really thrown us for a loop over here. So I thought we would just sit down and hang out, and I would try to put myself remotely together so that way maybe it'll make me feel better. Because honestly, sometimes just getting yourself ready really does do the trick. I am sure by this stunning appearance I've brought to you and my very energetic opening, you can't wait to hit the subscribe button. I know. So please click that subscribe button. Join the fam. You will not regret it. Or maybe you will. I don't know. We shall see. It is rainy and gloomy today, so the lighting is a struggle per usual. Has anything changed here? Not really. By the whole household, I mean myself, me hubby, my toddler, and then my dad, who doesn't live with us, but he's here a lot, also got this. Yes, I did bring floss down with me because I'll be real with you. I did not floss last night, and it's really bothering me. I'm an avid flosser, so pardon me, I'm going to floss real fast. BRB. Well, this cold came at the perfect time and the not so perfect time all at the same time. It came at the perfect time because I want to get it out of the way. We are leaving next week to take a road trip to Florida, which I'm so excited about, and we're going to be gone for several weeks, so it's like, yeah, I would much rather feel crummy right now than on the trip, so that's good. The only downside was I was supposed to get my hair done on Friday. It's Sunday today when I'm filming this. I'm going to try to film it and post it all on the same day. Yes, so I was supposed to get my hair done. Thankfully, my hairdresser is awesome and is moving me to next week to get me in last minute before we go on the trip because my grays are really popping big time. My ends are getting real dry. I really need to get them trimmed, and I'm getting a fresh coat of pink so I'm all sassy and ready for the trip. And to also prepare, I need to make sure I don't have a unibrow, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So yes, honestly, overall, I am glad to get this out of the way now, but it has not been fun. So just so happens my boss is on vacation this last week, and so I work in HR now for my company, and I had some new hires that I had to take care of. Well, usually I give them like the full presentation and everything of new hire information and company history and all of that fun stuff, and we do a tour of the building. The only tricky part was this originally started with me losing my voice. So I mean, I had a little bit of a voice, but if you've ever lost your voice and it's like just barely there and you try to talk and then you get that tickly feeling and it makes you have to cough, that's what would happen. I felt so bad. I had this new hire in the office, you know, here I'm like trying to tell him the new hire information, and then I'm like coughing up a storm, which, you know, no one likes to cough now. It feels like it's against the rules or something to cough. And so I was like, I just actually had to hand him the new hire presentation that I normally would give and ask him to read it himself because I couldn't get through it. I was like, oh wow, this is terrible. I feel bad doing this. He was so understanding though, which was awesome. There are kind people out there. And then the next day at work, I had their new hire training, so I had to like type up notes for them to read because again, I could get out a few words, maybe a sentence or two, but then anything more and my voice would get aggravated. I'd get the tickle and I would need to cough like a million times in a row. At first it was just me who got it, but I definitely think our toddler has it. And then my hubby has it. He's in the thick of it right now, so he's feeling real crummy. And the really crappy part is this has caused me not to be able to sleep well. I don't know if you guys are like that, but when I get a cold, I can't sleep well because I can't breathe through my nose. And then I don't know what it is, but there's something about if you have any cough at all, which I hardly cough with this, but as soon as I fall asleep, then I need to cough. I don't know what that is. It's like a cruel joke, but then I need to cough. And then that wakes me up. And so I haven't slept. Now my husband can't sleep because he's going through the same thing. And then last night our toddler took an evening nap because she only took a very short morning nap. Oh, I inhaled that tea's gross. She maybe napped about an hour when she woke up. I thought she felt a little bit warm, but nothing like crazy alarming. So we went for a little family walk. She loves being in her stroller right now. She loves being out and seeing the world. And then by the time we got back, I felt her back and it was like super hot. And I was like, oh crap. I think she has like a legit fever. We've been very lucky. She honestly had never had like an actual fever yet. A small one once before, but like this was the first time I felt her and I was like, she's hot. So I take her temperature and it was like 101.7, which I guess isn't like crazy high, but it's definitely like a fever. Then I gave her a little Tylenol. She fell asleep on me and I just held her for a really long time. And we let her lay in bed with us because I wanted to keep an eye on her to make sure her temp wasn't like going up crazy high overnight, which meant I wasn't sleeping good because I kept waking up constantly to check her and like she felt really hot. So like one time I woke her up to check her temperature because I was worried and it actually wasn't any higher, but she just I think felt extra hot from laying in bed. And then my husband couldn't sleep, so he was like getting up and down. It's been rough over here, you guys. But again, I'm looking at the bright side. I'm glad to get this out of the way before our trip. I'm so excited for the trip. We are planning to leave on Sunday. We're so lucky my dad is able to watch our house and our doggy for us, which is just a huge blessing. And I'm really looking forward to it because we are going to Florida because my grandma lives down there and she's turning 90, so we're having a huge party for her and it's so exciting. And it's like the first time since my grandma's lived in Florida, which I feel like it's probably been close to like 10 years now. I'm not 100% sure, but it's been a long time, that my whole family, almost everybody, is going down, which is just so cool. It's gonna be so fun. My cousin is actually getting married on the beach while we're all there. How neat is that? It's like perfect timing because he was already planning to go down there to get married. And then when he heard that the birthday party was happening, him and his fiance just changed all the dates because they were like, everyone's going to be there. Well, why don't we just do it the same weekend? So it should be a lot of fun. I'm also going to be stopping in Georgia on the way down and probably on the way back as well. We have friends down there that we're going to visit. Then we're going to stop in Miami and visit my friend Christina, who is also a YouTuber here. If you've been around for a long time, you've seen us do a couple of videos, collabs. So that'll be so fun. I'll get to meet her little girl, which is so exciting. It'll be the first time I've met her, and it'll be so fun for Michonne to get to make a friend. I always love when she gets to meet other littles. We're definitely going through a phase right now in toddlerhood where Michonne isn't really talking yet. She says a few things. The recommended, like what they hope to see by now, and every kid's different, so I'm trying to not over sweat it or overthink it, is 50 words. She's definitely not at 50 words. She's maybe at like 10 with Mama and Dada. She's just not super interested in talking. She's a very busy kid. She's very physical. She always wants to be go, go, go. So not real wanting to talk yet. I honestly think I was a late talker. My dad doesn't remember, and I think my husband was also a late talker according to his family. So I'm like not super alarmed, but I did put her name in for local speech therapy classes because I've heard the wait is very long right now. So I was talking to my friend who's a speech therapist, and she was like, she might not even need these by the time she can get into them, but it'd be better to get your name on the list now, so that way if she does need a little extra help with talking, then you're already in the running to get a class. So I'm like, I agree. I think that's a good idea. So that's something we're just starting to really focus on, and I've been trying to really, I already talked to her, what I feel like is a lot, but I'm really trying to like focus on repeating myself a lot. I bought some flashcards. We've been working on just trying to really make that top priority right now. I guess this has kind of been a little bit of a moment of learning for me as a mom, because when it came to the physical milestones, like she was always ahead of the game. She walked at 11 months, and it was just like, and it wasn't even like she just like learned to walk. It was just like she just stood up and was practically running. So she's always been just, like I said, very physical. So we didn't have to really work on any of that with her. That's just who she is. She's a very physical kid. So this is definitely a learning moment where I'm like having to learn to really like make myself aware of like what I'm saying. I'm trying to stop myself from saying it. Like if I want her to hand me something, like I'm trying to not say, can you grab it? I'm trying to say like, can you grab the cup? Like really being intentional about the words I'm using. So definitely it's a learning moment for me as well as a parent. And making sure I'm doing what I need to be doing to help her get where she needs to be, because I am starting to see a little bit just this weekend with her not feeling well, the signs of frustration coming out now that she's not able to communicate the things she maybe wants to at times. She definitely communicates. I mean, she grabs our hand and takes us where she wants to go. She understands everything. Like, I have no worries about her level of understanding. She understands it all. It's just the speech part. And so, like, just this weekend, I think with her not feeling well and the little bit of a not saying what she wants to yet, she has been showing some signs of frustration through biting. This is a whole new thing, and I've heard, I've always heard toddlers bite, like this happens. She had never even acted like she wanted to bite, so again, it's one of those things, it's like, did not see this coming, and now with her not feeling well and the frustration, she started to bite. So we were working on that, and it's only when she's extremely mad, like extremely mad. The first time she did it was she had fallen down, so obviously it hurt. I felt so bad for her. Being a parent is not always fun. Like, you learn the hard way. We were out having a family walk over the weekend, having so much fun. She was having a blast, and I was letting her run faster than I should have. I should have told her to slow down. Looking back, I should have, but I didn't. I thought all was going well, and then she tripped over her own feet, and she mainly caught herself, but not enough to where her face hit the pavement, and she cut up her lip, and she got a scratch on her nose and a bloody nose, and I felt so horrible, and obviously like that hurt so bad. And so she was very upset. She was screaming and crying when I was trying to comfort her, and she's also in this big phase like where if she's really upset, she doesn't necessarily want you to hold her. She wants to like kind of go do her own thing for a second. And because I was holding her trying to calm her down, she tried to bite my arm. Thankfully she hasn't bit any of us hard, but I'm like, hey, we do not bite. That is not nice. And then today she tried to bite my husband. Same thing. She was upset about something, really, really mad. She was exhausted because she needed a nap, and she tried to bite my husband's chest. So today I took her aside and I put her in a timeout. I said, we're counting to 10. And I said 1, 2, the whole thing. And she was still hysterical. And then I was trying to move her back to her timeout spot because she was trying to get up. And then she tried to bite my arm. And so I said, we're starting over. We're counting to 10 again. And so I did it all over again. And then she did finally calm down. And then I finally got her into her room, into her crib, and she decided to take a nap. Like, this weekend definitely is like a whole new level of toddlerhood with her not feeling well, being extra tired, and then being frustrated. You guys, toddlerhood is not for the faint of heart, okay? Okay. I honestly do love this stage a lot. There's more good to it than bad. Like, I will take this over a newborn stage any day. That's just me. I know a lot of moms are different, but I like sleeping. So I went to Five Below for fun. I was looking to see what kind of like outdoorsy kid stuff they had, and of course I had to swing by the beauty area. And I love watching Rissa Does Makeup, and she was raving about the Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation, which I've never tried. I've tried the matte in the past, and she learned about it from the Real Housewife who does like the Skinny Margarita mix. I don't watch that show. I've seen her before. I don't know much about her, but anyway, she said she loves it, and so I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, a Real Housewife person uses Wet n Wild. It must be good. I do love Wet n Wild usually, so I thought, oh, I saw this. I'm gonna pick it up, and then I also picked up some brushes from there. The Five Below brushes are seriously nice, you guys. Like, really nice. I picked up the shade Golden Beige because of the fact that I do have more color right now than usual, and we're about to go to Florida, so you know, I'm hoping I come back with a little bit of color. I don't want a sunburn, but some color would be nice. Oh yeah, I think this shade will be really good. I remember really liking the Wet n Wild matte foundation. I just don't do a lot of mattes now. I feel like now that I'm a wee bit older, in my 30s, I like a little bit of a glow. Like, it doesn't have to be super dewy, it doesn't have to be super glowy, but I need a little something from my foundation. Otherwise, I look a lot older than I want to. Those of you who are in your 30s with me, you get it, you feel me, I know you do. I'm really happy with this color match. And honestly, that's a very pretty finish. Dewy, I feel like, is a stretch, because to me, dewy is almost like glass skin, almost like wet-like, but they can only do so much in a foundation. There's just a beautiful, youthful glow from that, and it's very skin-like, but it's not overly radiant. I have noticed in this last week, I'm becoming a bit more oily again, and I don't know if that is my skin kind of going back to what it was pre-baby, because after my daughter, I became very dry compared to my norm. I was used to being very oily. Or it's just the fact that it has been blazing hot this last week, and I really need to get my bangs trimmed. I was saving it because I was supposed to get my hair done on Friday, and now I'm like, I'm not going to trim them myself because, you know, I want to get my money's worth of my bang trim, okay? They're really long, and I feel like my face gets more oily when my bangs get too long because I'm constantly, like, touching them to get them out of the way. So that, I have noticed that. I think the coverage is really pretty. I would put this in the medium. It's definitely not full, but it's medium. I think it's really a pretty coverage. I'm really impressed with this so far. I do feel like I want just like a little bit more. It is a paddle, which I don't love. I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't love a paddle. It is a bit messy, I feel like. I used to be a huge wand gal, but since I have quite a few products, nowhere near what I used to, because I'm trying to be much more minimalist the older I get, but I still have definitely more foundation and makeup than the average makeup wearer. I just want things that are going to last and be more hygienic, and so that's why I prefer a pump. Like, this one is not that hygienic because I put it on my face and then put it back in, you know? So I wish foundation companies, brands would hop on that train and realize what's the most hygienic. Honestly, kind of obsessed with this foundation. I did not even put a primer on. And, I mean, my pores don't look amazing because, hello, I have large pores. They never look amazing, and I didn't use any type of pore filler. I think this is one that would benefit from it. But right now, like, I'm not unhappy with how my pores look. Like, it just looks, they look true to what they are. I've come to terms with that. So, I don't feel like it's accentuating it, which is nice for a more hydrating, finished foundation to not accent them. Like, that's kind of the goal. How are you guys doing though? For real, tell me about what's going on in your life. I love hearing from you guys. What is new? Did you take any trips this summer? Are you taking any trips at the end of summer? Let me know. Other than work and life, I'm really excited about how our garden's doing. Our garden is thriving. So we don't have a very big yard, so we do a fairly small, compact garden. I think I break all the gardening rules on how far apart you put your plants, okay? If you have a green thumb, if you ever see a picture of my garden on Instagram, please don't come at me when you see how close together I plant things. We have planted zucchini, cucumber, cherry tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, big tomatoes, a watermelon, and onions. I'm very excited. My onions haven't done amazing. I'm gonna let them keep going. I think my faux pas on that was I don't think I planted my onions deep enough. That was my mistake. I should have researched it more, because I've noticed that it just seems like too much of my onion is kind of top heavy, like out of the ground. I should have put it down deeper, but it was my first time doing onions. I didn't know, okay? I didn't know. We just got one zucchini. It's huge. I think we only have one zucchini plant this year, which is less than we normally do. We've had a previous year where we got so many zucchinis and they were huge. I mean, just like massive. I think I could have won some type of Guinness Book of World Records for like the biggest zucchinis ever. They were huge. So this year we didn't do as many zucchini plants because we were eating like so much zucchini, which is actually, honestly, it's fine with me. It's one of my favorite veggies. But we were kind of running out of things to do with them, so we didn't do as many this year. Our cucumbers, we've gotten quite a few out so far, and they're decent size. I do kind of regret I did more cucumbers this year, and I wish I would have done more zucchini because, one, I've discovered I actually love like raw zucchini in like veggie trays or like with a little bit of ranch dip more than I like cucumber. My favorite way to do cucumber is like tomato cucumber salad. So I think I went a little cucumber heavy in the garden this year, and we're going to have more cucumbers than I know what to do with. You live, you learn. Tons of tomatoes. It's so cute. Michonne is obsessed with the tomato plants. We're teaching her to pick the red ones because she just wants to grab them all. And I'm like, no, don't grab the green ones. They're not ready yet. So we're working on that. She loves to eat them right out of the garden. It's so cute. She really likes the yellow ones. I love the yellow ones. I'm so glad I picked them. I definitely would like to do that again. They're really yummy. And this year, my friend actually told us about a local plant place to get our garden plants. And I'm so glad we listened to her because usually we just kind of pick them up randomly at like Walmart or Lowe's, like when we're there getting something else. And she told me, oh no, you got to go to this local spot. They have great stuff and their prices are great. Their prices were amazing, and I feel like our plants are like on steroids. Our tomato plants are probably, if you actually like picked up all the limbs, 6 foot tall. They're huge. They're huge. So I'm like, yeah, that was definitely a good call. Thank you so much for the tip. I will definitely go back next year. Very impressed with their plants so far. And again, their prices were incredible. I definitely would repeat the yellow tomatoes next year. So far, our big tomatoes are not turning red at all. And I'm like, oh, perfect. They're all going to turn while we're on vacation, so my dad will get to enjoy all the tomatoes while we're gone. So, darn. I'm hoping there's still some by the time we get back that are turning, because I really want to try the big ones. This is my first year doing big tomatoes. I usually just do like Roma or cherry tomatoes. So I'm like, oh, yay, big tomatoes, because I would love to do a BLT sandwich. There's nothing like a BLT sandwich with garden fresh tomatoes, especially if they're from your garden. It feels like such a special reward. So definitely hope there's some tomatoes left. So next year, yes, I want to do more zucchini than cucumber. And I want to do yellow tomatoes again for sure. And I would give the onions another shot because I cook with a lot of onions, so it would be really nice to have a good onion crop. I just need to plant them down deeper. And the watermelon is definitely, the plant is growing and there are some flowers on there. It is our longest yield, it says. I think it was like 90 days. So it's probably not going to be ready till like September. If I ever try watermelon again, I'll probably plant that one a little bit early compared to some of my other stuff, since it does take so much longer. I don't know if I have a fever now, but I'm freaking hot down here, you guys. I have no plans of doing anything crazy with the makeup because I'm not doing anything today. I don't want to do anything. I don't feel like doing anything. I'm not going to do anything. So why do I need to do anything crazy? We're doing the bare minimum here today, folks. I am going to brighten up this area. This is such a handy dandy little product. I wasn't in love with it at first, and I do wish it was just barely brighter. Like just barely brighter. I think it looks a little bit brighter right now that I have a bit more color to my skin, but see, it's just not as reflective as I would like. I wish it was just like a wee bit more reflective. It's really pretty for a nose highlight at this shade. Like, I'm very happy with it. I do this a lot for the nose, and it's very easy since it's a cream stick to put it where I want it, and then I just kind of tap it out. Like, that's like the perfect color for a nose highlight. It's not too in your face or blindy, and I love it for the top lip again because it's a cream product. I can put it right where I want it. and buff it out. I don't have to buff it out. It really just depends on what you're wanting. I usually tap it out just a bit. It's like perfect for those areas, but for my inner corner, it's just a little lackluster. So I think I will pop a little of my Anastasia Beverly Hills in the inner corner. See, that's what I wish that stick would do. Just like a little bit more, a little more oomph. Totally forgot to mention when I use this brush, I wanted to point out this is one of the brushes I got from Five Below, and this was a highlighter brush by Chic Pro. But I've been loving it for setting powder because I've kind of just been targeting where I apply my setting powder instead of going all over, and it works out so well, especially for under the eyes. I mean, it would be beautiful for a highlight for sure, but I've really enjoyed it for that. I do feel like my voice is starting to give out, so this video might have to be a little short and sweet. I do want to show you how I've been using this Chic Pro eyeshadow brush. Really been enjoying it, especially for days the last week where I just don't feel like doing a lot of makeup. I've just been kind of going in with colors around my lash line and just applying a little bit. Just to give it like a little something something, and it's just like the perfect size if you're like me and you don't have a ton of lid space. You want it to be close to the lash line, but you also kind of want it to be a little bit blown out. And it works out really well, and I can like kind of pull the corners up to give me just like a little soft cat eye, and it fits really well under my eye. Then this blush, see, I'm tired, y'all. Bronzer brush. I've really been enjoying it. Going in with my Care Bears bronzer, which I think I'm going to have to be done with because it's falling apart and I really cannot stand when my bronzer starts to do that. For hitting around the cheekbone, it's extremely soft. This brush is like so soft, and it's fluffy enough that it kind of softly diffuses your bronzer, but it's like not so fluffy that it's going to kind of bronze up everything. It's still going to be a little bit precise to where you want it, and it works really well for the size of my forehead, which is nice. And even the fact it's like flat, I can do the sides of my nose. I really have been enjoying this, and again, it is so ultra soft. I do feel like this foundation is keeping a really pretty glow even under my products. I really like this foundation. Okay, Bethany Frankel, that's her name. She wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. It's a nice foundation. Haven't worn it all day, but so far, really nice. You guys, and I just want to let you know, I never thought I would consider Botox, but my husband thinks I'm nuts. He absolutely does not want me to do that. And it's definitely not in our budget right now. But I kind of just, all I want is right here. The 11s run in my family, and I have found I squint my eyebrows together, squish them together, I don't know what the word is, a lot. And I'm starting to get very faint 11s, and I really don't want that. Forehead wrinkles, whatever. Crow's feet, whatever. Laugh lines, whatever. There's just something I feel like men can pull off the 11. I feel like it looks fine on men. And on some women, I have women in my family who have it, and it looks fine. But on me, I feel like it would make me just look angry all the time. And I'm not angry all the time, you guys. Really, I try not to be an angry person. So I don't want to walk around looking angry all the time. This is the Essence Double Trouble mascara. I really, really enjoy it, you guys. Like, I would pick this up again. It stays on really well. I don't get a lot of smearing or flaking, and I feel like it does nice lengthening, also giving me some volume, but still keeping it like remotely wispy, which I like, a kind of wispy look on my lashes. Let me tell you what, I have so many pairs of falsies. I cannot tell you when I put on a falsie. I always think, I'm going to wear those. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to get those. I'm going to add them to my cart. Because, hey, I might want to put on falsies. I do think falsies make looks extra good. Like, it can take a boring eyeshadow day and turn it into a va-va-voom eyeshadow day. but I'm terrible at applying them. I get tired of them quickly when I have them on. I guess it's that hope that I'm gonna be that girl. I'm not gonna be that girl. I just need to come to terms with it. I'm a mascara girl. I like mascara. I like that it comes off. I like that I'm okay at applying it. I do feel like I want to apply just a little bit of lipstick, but I'm trying to not like put on my lipsticks. I try not to put on lipstick when I'm not feeling well. So I'm going to use my finger and just get a little color back to the lips. Just a faint little wash. Now I can breathe through my nose today, thank goodness, but when you can't breathe through your nose, my mouth and my lips get so dry. I have put on so much chapstick. Well, you guys, this is the finished look. This is it. This is me. This is all I have for you today. Aren't you so glad you're here? I am so glad you're here. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me when I'm not feeling well, when my energy is not where it normally is. Thank you. And thank you for hanging out with me. Like, I've been avoiding people since I'm not feeling well. It's like we're hanging out, but there's no risk of you catching my cold, which is amazing. Alright guys, seriously though, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed Sunday. And as always, please try to stay positive, because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.